This week we look back at the emotional experience that is Life is Strange following the release of the final episode of Before the Storm. We find out how a transport safety campaign turned into a viral hit that spawned multiple video games, and check out some of the art and creativity that was on show at PAX Australia. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week Nintendo opened the floodgates and revealed a whole stack of games that are headed to both the Switch and the 3DS. Crash Bandicoot will appear on a Nintendo platform for the very first time when the N. Sane trilogy launches a little later this year. This is, of course, all three original Crash Bandicoot games remastered to look their best on the latest hardware. South Park: The Fractured But Whole will arrive on Switch next month, bringing with it all of the already released DLC. Dark Souls Remastered is not only getting a Switch version, but it's also getting its very own amiibo, which should help you praise the sun. Indie darling Undertale is also headed to Nintendo Switch, which should please plenty of people and confuse plenty of others. But don't think Big N forgot about its own games. Splatoon 2 is getting a massive free update a little later this year, while plenty of other games are jumping onto the new console: Okami HD, Captain Toad, and, better late than never, Super Smash Bros. We also heard plenty of other rumours about another game set to appear on the hybrid console, but both Nintendo and Blizzard are staying tight-lipped over whether or not the Master of Darkness really is preparing to make the leap. Stay tuned for more details on a potential new platform for Diablo 3. In other news, Valve is getting ready to get back into game publishing, with the Seattle company finally telling us a bit more about Artifact, an upcoming Dota 2 themed card game. The studio is also working on at least one other title, a fully fledged single player offering, plus 3 big VR games, but Artifact is the one in the spotlight at this stage. It was first revealed at the International, the Dota 2 championships held earlier this year, but the company is only now talking specifics. Gabe Newell and his team say they learned a lot from their hardware-heavy focus of the past few years, and that their efforts were definitely not wasted, but the time has come to turn back to their software roots. In super quick news, a super shiny remaster of the first 3 Tomb Raiders are set for release on Steam very soon, and picking them up is a simple matter of purchasing, or already owning, the DOS versions. More than just a simple graphic overhaul, these new versions will feature a brand new 3D engine and boast OpenVR support. Following the success of Shadow of the Colossus, the team at Bluepoint aren't resting on their laurels, jumping right into their next project. We don't know quite what that will be just yet, but it has been confirmed it is another remake, which is good, because that's something that they're very, very good at. Cory Barlog has gone on the record saying that there is no freaking way that the upcoming God of War will feature microtransactions when it launches next month, nearly melting his Twitter in the process. And writer Drew Karpyshyn has left BioWare. Again. He's been working on Anthem after contributing to both Mass Effect 1 and 2, Star Wars: The Old Republic, Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate 2, as well as a stack of novels for Star Wars, Mass Effect, Forgotten Realms and his own Chaosborn trilogy. Karpyshyn actually left BioWare a while ago to write Chaosborn, but he returned to work on Anthem. It seems the lure of original work has grown too strong for him now. He's concentrating on an upcoming sci-fi graphic novel, more books, and dabbling a little in freelance gaming work. We are already getting things lined up for some big E3 showcases. We knew that the next Battlefield was going to be on show at EA Play, and now we can add the first official Ubisoft title to the list, with the team at Massive Entertainment unveiling plans for The Division 2. As with most Ubisoft games these days, there is a cast of thousands on board for this one. Massive will be joined by Ubisoft Reflections, Red Storm Entertainment, Ubisoft Annecy, Ubisoft Shanghai and Ubisoft Bucharest. It will use an updated version of the Snowdrop engine, and we have already been told the studios have taken everything they've learned from the original Division and will be applying it to the sequel to make sure we get it right. And speaking of developers learning from experience, Remember how we mentioned recently that nobody is playing H1Z1? Well, it looks like the people working on it have noticed too, and in a last-ditch effort to attract new fans, they've made the game free to play. Anyone who did check out the game during early access will be rewarded with an appreciation pack, including some in-game clothes, an ARV, a bunch of victory crates, and a whole stack of skulls. If you didn't play in early access but have been meaning to try the game that did Battle Royale before it was trending, you've now got no excuse. So grab a few mates and jump right into some Auto Royale. And forgive me for making the obvious segue here, but PUBG is also making some big changes, but doing it over a bigger time frame. The developers have just released their roadmap for 2018, and there are some fun things on the way. There are new game modes on the horizon, new vehicles and new weapons, while the art team has been completely overhauling in-game assets, while the audio team has been doing the same to the in-game sound. A new 4x4 kilometre island map is being added to the experimental test server real soon now, with a massive 8x8 kilometre map to follow later in the year. There are also plans for a new emote system, in-game achievements, a new friends list system and squad voice chat in the main menu. If all of this and an upgraded parachute system isn't enough for you, there are also serious plans to improve stability and optimization, and upgrading user security is, of course, top of the to-do list. Also on the list, but a little bit further down, esports, which we're told is not quite there yet. And rounding out the last man standing trifecta, Fortnite has officially eclipsed PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds when it comes to streaming viewers. More than twice as many people are watching Epic's game these days, making it the most watched and streamed game on Twitch. So how are the developers rewarding their fans? Like this. The Teams of 20 mode is available right now for a limited time, but for a longer lasting reward, how about a bit of portable play? Fortnite is officially headed to smartphones, and it will be fully compatible with your PC and Mac accounts. iOS is up first with an invite event running right now, but we are promised Android is coming in the next few months. It is the same gameplay, same map, same content and same weekly updates, all in the palm of your hand. Oh, and if you're a console player, even though Xbox One and PS4 still can't quite talk to each other, you'll still get cross-play, cross-progression and cross-purchase between Fortnite on your console, your home computer and your smartphone, no matter which combination you're using. For more information on any of these stories, or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, we've got plenty more still to come.
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private parts as piranha bait. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die.
Hi, it's Matt from Player Attack, and we're here at Penny Arcade Expo, Australia, and I'm here with Leah from Dumb Ways to Die. It came from an ad campaign about safety here in Melbourne. Now, the intentions for the game, did that come before or after the ad campaign?
It came after the ad campaign. So the ad campaign, once we started seeing that really going well on YouTube, within a few days actually, we decided to make a game app. The guy that had done the animation for us also made games. So it was a really logical transition into gaming.
Did you ever expect that it would become the hit that it has?
Not really. I think when we saw the concept for this ad, and then as we saw it evolve, we knew it was going to be pretty good. And in a digital world, we knew it would go pretty well. But no, we didn't think that 5 years on it would be still this strong. The
concept was sort of spawned as a campaign to get people to be aware when they're sort of around trains, make sure they're sort of alert, responsive. I guess from that perspective, how successful has the campaign been? Is it sort of lived up to what you sort of hoped?
Yeah, I think so. So it's very hard to measure behavioural change, and that's essentially what this is. We're encouraging people to be safe and to take less risks because there are serious consequences. But you know, if we look at the success of this, we know that people get the safety message in all the dumb things that we do here, dumb ways to die. So in the VR case, there's lots of safety aspects and risk taking. So safety underpins everything, and that's really what this whole brand's about.
And I guess with the games, it's sort of a collection of mini games, dumb ways to die. Do you have a particular favourite? Is there one that you think is perhaps the dumbest way to die?
I don't know about the dumbest, but my favourite is Dunce, and he's the one that sells his kidneys on the internet.
Not something that you would plan on doing anytime in the future?
Certainly not both of them.
Well, with the latest experience, so we're looking at VR, we've sort of moved into the 3D realm. Now, how does this sort of differ from the 2D experiences on mobile?
Well, I think with this VR experience, it sort of puts the player in the driver's seat, and that's what's really interesting, I think, for us. So with the games, it's really, you know, there's a certain mechanic that they need to do in terms of playing the game. But with this VR, really, it can be whatever you want it to be, and I think that's what's really exciting.
And how has the response been here today?
It's been really good. We've had a great response, and that was part of what we wanted to do here, was really to test this pilot, see if it was fun, see if people engage with it, and see if we should keep going.
And with the VR one, so when are you planning on releasing that?
There's no timeline on it at this stage, so we have just done the pilot, and now it's really back to the drawing board to see how much further we're going to progress this, how quickly we'll progress it. So we're in some discussions about that, and it's really a case of watch this space.
Dress up like a moose during hunting season. Disturb a nest of wasps for no good reason. Stand on the edge of a train station platform. Drive around the boom gates at a level crossing. Run across the tracks between the platforms. They may not rhyme, but they're quite possibly the dumbest ways to die. The dumbest ways to die. The dumbest ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Be safe around trains, a message from Metro.
The Life is Strange saga has officially come to an end, for now, with the release of Before the Storm Episode 3. This means now feels like an appropriate time to do a review, looking at the game as a complete picture rather than as an assortment of pieces. To recap, Life is Strange Before the Storm acts as a prequel to the hugely successful and incredibly heartbreaking Life is Strange, but a lot has changed behind the scenes. The recent voice actor strike impacted pretty heavily on the game, meaning we're hearing an entirely new cast this time around, but everything still sounds right thanks to Ashley Birch sticking with the writing team to ensure consistency between the games. There's a new developer on board too, with Deck 9 picking up the reins as the original team from Don't Nod are now focusing on finishing off Vampire. And, as if that wasn't enough, the soundtrack has also been crafted by a new artist. Indie Darling's daughter have taken over, composing an amazing original score for the game, with a memorable handful of other tracks popping up here and there for important moments.
Oh, good. You're here. Chloe Price. Rachel Amber. Oh, shit! That can't be the same girl from last night. Hey, dickhead! Last night was amazing. Come on, hurry up! There's more to experience out there than just Arcadia Bay. Don't be surprised if one day I'm just out of here.
But back to the game. We're headed 3 years before the events of the first Life is Strange, stepping into the shoes of rebellious teen Chloe. She's still in school, but on the verge of dropping out, and things in her life are in a downward spiral. But then she meets Rachel, the subject of the mystery from the original game, and a life changer for Chloe. Before the Storm follows Rachel and Chloe's friendship and explores a new mystery revolving around Rachel's father and a mysterious but brutal drug dealer. If you are hoping for a gentler, less emotional ride than the original, sorry, things go downhill pretty quick.
Hello?
You just made a serious mistake.
You don't scare me.
Where the first game was a supernatural mystery/disaster story, this game is instead about people and their relationships, how they begin, how they end, and what happens when they go wrong. As a result, the main mechanic of the game is a far cry from Max's time-warping powers. In fact, Chloe doesn't actually have any mystical powers to speak of. Her mechanic is her sharp tongue and even sharper wit. When Chloe stumbles into a negative situation, like being on the verge of being expelled from school or stealing a pudding cup from a guy in hospital, no, really, the backtalk option pops up. Essentially, using keywords from your opponent's speech, you puzzle out the appropriate response in a war of words to outsass them. Do well, and things will go a little better for Chloe. Do badly, and things will go a heck of a lot worse.
What the f-
How you do anything is how you do everything.
It's definitely not as exciting as time travel, but it still fits in perfectly with the Life is Strange theme. There's still plenty of exploring to do, with objects to interact with and people to talk to, and you will be amply rewarded for getting into every nook and cranny of the world. I even found myself immersed in a mini tabletop Dungeons & Dragons style game in the first episode. This makes the adventure game portion where you can walk around and explore even more worth it, constantly stumbling on interesting things and even a few extra options that can impact events later in the game. Max's photography option might have gone, but Chloe can leave her own mark on certain locations.
Family pic used to hang here. Wow. I can't actually remember which one.
The game also has this theme of overwhelming sadness. While the original at least had some hopeful notes and some humour, and this one does too, in parts, the drama of the prequel just seems to pile up. Just as you're coming to terms with one thing, another revelation comes at you and you're thrust deeper into a dramatic teen mystery setting. This isn't exactly a bad thing, and it may very well be because this one is only 3 episodes as opposed to 5, but it just seems really badly to want to make you sad. And it does it really well. It manages to build relationships and set up characters in a way that will make you invested and then heartbroken when something bad inevitably happens. Nowhere is this more prevalent than in the very premise of the game. Players of the original Life is Strange will know all about Chloe and Rachel and what happens to them, or what potentially happens, as the case may be. And the game revels in that, wanting to point out at every possible opportunity how tragic it all is, while foreshadowing the events of the original in ways that still manage to tug at the heartstrings. I fell for it every time, because I was invested. I was having fun.
Sometimes, when you meet someone who's going to change your life, you just know it, I guess.
Let's do something fun.
Fuck yes.
Rachel, run! What the hell?
Next time, mind your own business.
Calm down. Walk away.
Before the Storm isn't perfect. There are a few plot holes that dedicated fans might notice, and people might not be interested in all the drama. But for anyone that wants a good mystery, characters with real depth, and choices that do actually have some impact on how the game plays out, Life is Strange Before the Storm is absolutely worth a look and a worthy entry into the Life is Strange series. If you want more though, the game is also available in a deluxe edition which comes with a mixtape mode to enjoy the beautifully crafted soundtrack, as well as a few extra outfits for Chloe, plus the bonus episode Farewell, which somehow managed to be even more of a kick in the guts than the main game.
I have you now, scallywag.
I'm lucky you're my best friend.
Damn right you are, you mushy weirdo. Now get your ass down here, we have treasure to find.
In a few days, my whole family moves to Seattle. I have no idea when I'll see Chloe again. This could be my last chance to say goodbye.
Hey guys, Angela here at PAX 2017. I'm here with Kat in the Artist Alley. We're going to basically talk about a lot of the great art that they have going on over here. So Kat, can you fill me in on what's going on?
Sure. So this is our 4th year doing this. It's kind of like people usually vote to tell us what we're painting. So normally we would find out like first thing in the morning and we have to paint like a big A2 artwork between 10 and 6, which is usually like, it happens, but it happens. But this time, today only, we're doing what we're calling like an artist musical chairs. So what we've been doing is we've actually been rotating the artwork every hour. So everyone's worked on each of the pieces, which is a bit weird as an artist because you never want to like ruin anyone else's artwork. So the first one that rotated over, we were all like, oh God, oh, I don't want to stuff it up. And now we're all so tired that we don't care. But it's been going really well. We thought we were all going to get in arguments and we haven't, and they've all turned out decently. And then all of these, because like obviously none of us own any of these as well worked on them, they're going to be auctioned off at Child's Play Auction on Sunday.
So I'm looking at some of the art. So you've got all sorts of different things going on over here. So is it up to one person to then sketch the idea and then it comes around to everyone else then colour it?
Yeah. So the one that Flick Scott's the one that I started. So I drew that one. The one we've got here is Peter's. So he's drawn it, but then I think he also started the colour in it. But basically every time it gets rotated, it's also a bit like Chinese whispers. So they're like, Peter wanted this. Can you add this to this? So it's sort of what the original person wanted, but then of course everyone adds their own thing to it.
So how do you guys know each other in that case? Because obviously to be able to do this as artists, you've got to sort of have an idea of what the other person's doing anyway, because you don't know their work. So how do you guys know each other?
So we actually worked out the other day, we've all been painting together and known each other for about 8 years. So we went to TAFE together at NMIT, which is now called Melbourne Polytechnic. So yeah, we've been doing this for 4 years, but of course we all sort of learnt together as well. So we've all got very different styles, but we all kind of know how each other works, and what colours we use and what we sort of like drawing and painting. So luckily it's actually worked out quite well.
So what about your work then? So what kind of things do you do in this regard? So these paintings, these images that we have up here, are they all yours?
Yeah, so they're all mine. Obviously very different style to what I'm currently working on. I tend to do a lot of portraiture. I'm trying to convince myself to do backgrounds, which is a thing I don't do very often. But yeah, mostly portraiture stuff. A lot of the stuff we display here is obviously like game and like pop culture orientated, but most of us also have like our actual own personal artwork that we do as for a living as well, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for spending the time, and these pieces of art look fantastic. So yeah, hopefully they do well at the auction.
Yeah, hopefully raise some money for charity.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, the 2-hour team tries out another PC game to see whether it's worth your money, while Angelo does a bit of compare and contrast as he looks back at the Monster Hunter franchise. In the meantime, you can catch us at playerattack.com. We are on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. And if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Also, if you want to support Player Attack, you can find us on Patreon and help us bring you the latest in gaming news, plus all these wonderful interviews and reviews from the world of video games. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.